So, hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Anmol Sehgal and this is an update about the transit of Jupiter in the sign of Sagittarius, which is happening on 30th June 2020. So, a retrograde planet, which is Jupiter, which is already retrograde, is going to travel back to its sign Sagittarius, which is its own sign, and it will conjunct Ketu in the sign of Sagittarius. So, what results this is going to give, that I'm going to discuss today. So, Jupiter and Ketu were also conjunct in the year 2019 in the sign of Sagittarius, but this time the things will be different. And why is that so? Because in 2019 November, I think the date was 3rd or 4th November, when Jupiter entered into the sign of Sagittarius where Ketu was already there. Jupiter came direct from the sign of Scorpio to the sign of Sagittarius. At that point of time, the planet Ketu was coming towards Jupiter. So the difference is that due to retrograde motion of Ketu was back then in November coming towards Jupiter. It was coming towards Jupiter to corrupt the significance of Jupiter. Okay, so what was happening is to corrupt the significance of Jupiter, which is what? The belief system. Ketu is a moksha karka. It is a planet of moksha and detachment. Wherever Ketu sits, there the area becomes dry and dissatisfying. For example, if Ketu is in somebody's 7th house, then a person feels detached or dissatisfied from marriage. So Ketu causes dissatisfaction and detachment. So Ketu was enforcing detachment of belief system and detachment of things. From November 2019, we might have observed that people were detaching from each other. So now, what is the difference? That this time Jupiter is moving back from the sign of Capricorn to the sign of Sagittarius. It is basically reversing its motion. So now Jupiter is going towards Ketu. Now the things will be very different. Now Jupiter, the Guru, is running towards enlightenment, towards critically analyzing things. So see, I have already mentioned in my previous videos as well that while Jupiter was transiting, Jupiter went to the sign of Capricorn. There it became retrograde and it was conjunct the karma lord Saturn in the sign of karma, Capricorn. So this Jupiter has basically undergone rejuvenation and purity. Basically Jupiter is making itself pure. मतलब जो भी हमने इतने सालों से we have inbuilt all the beliefs and all the societal norms, so this Jupiter has gone back to purify itself. And now it is coming back. It's in its own house, in its own sign. It feels comfortable to recorrect everything, to form certain beliefs again. So Ketu and the conjunction, normally the conjunction of Ketu and Jupiter brings critical thinking. So this is what is going to happen, that there will be critical thinking which will be on a positive side. People will start retrospecting themselves and there will be a lot of enlightenment. Okay, and Mars is transiting in the sign of Aries, which is again its own sign, and it is receiving the 5th aspect of Jupiter. So all the actions, because Mars is a planet, Mars is a soldier, so it is a planet of taking action. Okay, and now the actions will be guided by Jupiter. Actions will be guided by wisdom. So a lot of good things are coming ahead. There will be, people will be realizing different stuff related to different areas where this conjunction is happening. And of course, as I have mentioned in my report of coronavirus, that from mid of July, Of course, coronavirus is not going to go right now, but there will be some relief related to that area too. Jupiter is also a planet of optimism, and Sagittarius is its favorite sign, and it is also a sign of optimism as well. So, Jupiter coming back to the sign of Sagittarius will create hopefulness among all the people regarding the area where this conjunction is happening, not conjunction, where the sign of Sagittarius is placed. So there will be hopefulness, there will be optimism, a lot of positivity will be there around the world. So Jupiter and Ketu conjunction in Sagittarius will also bring one more thing, which is that messages will be delivered intuitively or in person, which will be loud and clear about all the confusion that all of the retrogrades have created. For the month of July, all the planets are going to work together towards positive things. So this month is going to be a very positive month. Though Mercury retrograde will still create some chaos and some disturbance, because it is, Mercury retrograde is never favorable for anybody. It makes, tiny mistakes. People tend to have miscommunication and stuff. But it will be till mid of July, so that is not a very big concern, because of course Jupiter in its own sign, Mercury in its own sign, then we have Saturn in its own sign, Mars in its own sign. All the planets are well placed for now. Apart from being retrograde, they are well placed, they are in their own domain, in their own signs. So we can expect very positive results. Since Jupiter is retrograde, so it is not only going to affect the sign of Sagittarius, but it will also affect the sign of Scorpio. So we will also see the results of the sign of Scorpio. So I'm going to also mention about how all of this is going to affect different signs. So for the sign of Aries, this conjunction of Jupiter and Ketu is going to happen in the 9th house. So that is a very good placement. Jupiter is coming in the 9th house, which is a Trikona house, which is considered as a very good house of fortune, luck. Okay, so for the sign of Aries, there will be enlightened regarding your gurus. You will find some good advices from people, and you might also come across a guru for your lifetime. You will also feel that fortune and luck is on your side when Jupiter is in Sagittarius. So for the sign of Taurus, this conjunction is going to happen in the 8th house. 8th house is the house about hidden things, about something which is hidden from us. So Jupiter and Ketu conjunction coming in the 8th house is again a good thing. There will be, since Jupiter is in the sign of Sagittarius, so Jupiter here will make you realize and enlightened a lot of spiritual realizations, and secrets will be exposed to you. Okay, and then we come to the sign of Gemini. For the sign of Gemini, this conjunction is going to happen in the 7th house. So there will be enlightenment in your relationships, and you will come across a lot of good advices when it comes to your relationship, and there will be enlightenment. There will be a lot of clarity regarding your relationships with other people. And of course, 7th house is also of business. So people who are who are indulged into some business, so this time is very good for their finances when it comes to business. Now we come to the sign of Cancer. So for the sign of Cancer, this is going to happen in the 6th house, and 6th house is known as the house of disputes, the house of competition, the house that is also a house of job, and many more things. So Jupiter and Ketu coming here will balance out your health, which was not previously good, according to the alignments which has happened earlier. So your health will come into balance, and there will be enlightenment related to the conflicts you were having, or even you were having some legal battles or something. So luck will be on your side regarding that factor. So now next will be the sign of Leo. For the sign of Leo, this is happening in the 5th house. So now if a Leo ascendant person is having kids, okay, so this time you will be critically analyzing about your relationship with your children, so that will improve and the luck will arise. 5th house Jupiter is again a very good Jupiter because it is the karka of that house, and it is coming in the 5th house, which is very auspicious for your children and of course for love matters as well. And now, so for the sign of Virgo, this conjunction is going to happen in the 4th house. So there will be a lot of enlightenment regarding your inner peace, because 4th house is what makes us happy, because it is 4th house is the heart of the kundali, and it also represents our own heart and our personal space, private space, and even 4th house represents mother, home environment. So there will be you will be seeking some spiritual, you might be indulging yourself into meditation and spiritual practices, and there will be a lot of philosophical advices from your mother. Do listen to that. I would suggest you do listen to what your mother advises you, because that will be very good for you. And luck will be on your side, and of course your heart will find enlightenment and peace. So for the sign of Libra, this conjunction is going to happen in the 3rd house. So there can be short distance travels. I don't know how is that possible due to this lockdown, but things can happen, okay. And there can be a lot of philosophical communication with your friends, with on social media or otherwise. So this is, and of course because Ketu and Jupiter are in the 3rd house, so the 3rd house is the house of your efforts, so you will feel very optimistic and hopeful about the efforts you are making and communication which you are having. Now next is the sign of Scorpio. For Scorpio, this conjunction is going to happen in the 2nd house, and 2nd house is about the finances. So apart from anything else, finances will be good because Jupiter is also karka for wealth, and in the 2nd house Jupiter plays a very important role in terms of your income and your wealth. So for this time there will be a rise in income and enlightenment about where you should invest and your previous investments as well. And 2nd house is also the house of family, so there will be critical evaluation of beliefs regarding your family, and this will play a part for your family as well. And now next is the sign of Sagittarius. So luckily now the sign of Sagittarius is going to experience, from now they are going to experience a good time. And of course eclipse is also happening in the sign of Sagittarius, so all of this will have positive effects for the sign of Sagittarius. So there will be a lot of assessment, reassessment, and a lot of enlightenment about yourself. You will go inward and enlighten yourself regarding different areas of your life. You will think about each and everything. There will be critical analysis of every area of your life, and things will come into balance. And since your Lagan is becoming very strong, so you will feel very strong, hopeful, and optimistic. Now for the sign of Capricorn, this conjunction will happen in the 12th house. So Jupiter and Ketu will be in 12th house. What is 12th house? 12th house is the house of isolation. So you might feel isolated, but that will be for your own benefit, for your own enlightenment. 12th house is also the house of spirituality. So this is the best conjunction and best planets to have in 12th house for self-analysis and for hopefulness. No doubt Jupiter is a very heavy planet, so in 12th house subconsciously you might feel heavy, but you will be very active intuitively. So what will happen is you might come across certain dreams. The thing is, you just need to believe what your intuition is telling you. The messages will be loud and clear. So for the sign of Aquarius, this conjunction is going to happen in your 11th house. And in the 11th house, Jupiter and Ketu will make you critically analyze the gains that you are getting, or your friend circle, or your colleagues. So 11th house is the house of gains and the house of recognition. So Jupiter coming here plays a very important role. It gives you what you desire. So there will be critical analysis about what you actually want from life. And you will get it because Jupiter will make it happen. Jupiter will fulfill all the desires you have. Now further, we have the sign of Pisces. For the sign of Pisces, this conjunction or this Jupiter going back into the sign of Sagittarius will happen in the 10th house. So this is the house of karma, the karma you are performing in the society, the authority, and things like that. So of course, because Ketu is here, so there can be some cut in your career. There can be some, a temporary cut in your career, but for now here will be acting like a savior. So there will be advices from your bosses or authority figures. So I would suggest that you must take it and you must critically analysis about your career, about where it is going. So because the enlightenment will be regarding your actions and your career. So that will be the main focus. The simplest thing we need to be concerned about is that the sign of Sagittarius is a sign of divine knowledge, of spiritual dharma, about accomplishing things. It is the sign of optimism and hopefulness. But along with that, the sign of Sagittarius is also a fatalistic sign. But Jupiter going retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius, the guru will become a little more flexible with the things. Now the guru will not act stubborn or very fatalistic about, okay, I believe this, so I'm going to believe this. No, it will not be there. There will be a lot of adjustments and there will be a lot of understanding. But Ketu along here will make it a bit critical in doing so. So guys, this was my analysis on the update, the conjunctions, or whatever is going to happen in the month of July. I hope it is of good help. So bye bye, take care, see ya.